Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Unorthodox Vegan. My name is Sean Gold, and this week number 35, we're going to be making, what are we making? We're going to be making lentil patties, and this is just using some green lentils, which I have already got out. We're using a carrot, an onion, a couple of cloves of garlic, some smoked paprika, some oats for thickening, a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of cumin, and that's just about it. I think that's all we're going to be using. And it's going to be a simple matter. We're going to make these patties up and fry them up. I might do an air fry option just to see, or a baking option to see how it looks. Let's just see how the texture turns out. Never made this before, never even tried it. It's the first time I've seen this recipe, so I thought I'd give it a try, see how it goes. So I'm just going to set some stuff up, cut up the onion and the garlic, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut up that carrot. I'm going to make sure it's grated, and then I'll be back for the rest. Back in a moment. While I was away, I started a pot of water boiling with 3 cups of water in it and put in the cup of green lentils. Got that cooking, and it's been boiling now, and now it's simmering. So I'm going to let it simmer for 20 to 25 minutes. Make sure that they're tender but not mushy. I'll drain off the liquid, and I will mix it in with this. What's in here is a small onion that's been relatively finely chopped, as fine as I could do it. 2 cloves of garlic, which I've chopped up very finely or minced. That one medium carrot, which I've grated that one. There's a half cup of rolled oats. It's used for the binding operation of this recipe. I have added in a teaspoon of cumin, that's a ground cumin, a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I love the flavor of that. It's for the smoky flavor. I have a half teaspoon of turmeric, which I like it for, they suggest having it in for the color and for the health value, so why not? I don't mind it. I'm going to be putting in some salt and pepper later for taste and see how that goes. And that's what I have there. Now it offers, this recipe I found, I don't even know where I found it online, offers as an optional add-in some soy sauce, 1 or 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and potentially a 1/4 cup of mashed sweet potatoes or chickpea flour for extra binding. We'll see how this goes. I may put in some a little bit of liquid, may put in a little bit more depending on how the chickpeas go. So I might put in some soy sauce to see how it feels. And if I do want some extra binding, I have some not chickpea flour, but I have some green pea flour that I've made up. I just ground up some green peas that were, I don't know where I found them. I got them, but I decided to make it as a protein thing. So just an adding in protein for some add-on. So I might use that instead. Anyway, I'm going to wait for the green lentils to be cooked. It's another 10 minutes on my clock at least. And when that's done, I'll be back and we'll mix those in and see how this all goes. Back in a bit. Okay, I have taken off the stove the green lentils. They have been uh, boiled, cooked. Let them simmer for about 10 minutes because they seem to be nice and soft. I didn't want them to get too soft, so I'm going to be putting those in here now. I actually drained off the excess liquid. I'm going to be putting them in there. The recipe calls for mashing this together using a fork and then using your hands if necessary. We'll see how this all works and see whether I need extra liquid. That's why I brought out the uh, the soy sauce, and I did bring out some pea powder, which I mentioned I had this. This is a nice, just extra protein if you ever want to use it, but it's a little bit of texture. So I'm going to mash this together, trying to get some stuff happening here. And this is going to be really boring, so I'll be back in a minute. As you can see, I have been a little bit busy since I last talked to you. What I have done is I made up a few patties. I made 3 up to be fried on a frying pan with a little bit of olive oil to let them golden brown. So I'm going to be doing about 4 minutes on each side, maybe 5 minutes on each side, just until they get crispy brown. That's what I want to and brown slightly. I've also made up some patties using, and I'm going to be baking those in the oven for 375 degrees for 20 minutes. I'll be flipping them halfway through, so they're pretty easy to make. And I did add in some soy sauce. I did a little taste test. I did a little pre-taste taste test to see how they tasted, and it was just needed a little bit more flavor. So I added in some soy sauce, and I did add some of that pea powder because I wanted it to just make sure it really binds well. And we'll see how it cooks up like that. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to come back in a couple minutes after these are cooked. In a few minutes after these are all cooked, I'll be cooking both baking those ones, frying up these, and I'll be coming back to show how they taste, right? Well, I think it's time for a taste test. These are the ones that were fried. I have the ones that are still in the oven for another at least 5 minutes. They're cooking. I'll bring them out in a minute to see how they did. But what I'm doing is I want to do a taste. Now, one of the things that's suggested is that you can use these as a hamburger patty. So you can put them into a hamburger bun and eat them like that, or you can just eat them as they are. I wanted to taste them, see how they are as well, just as they are. And one of the suggestions was you can also drizzle some, what do they call it, sriracha mayonnaise. Now, I've already shown you how to make my mayonnaise, and so I took out a dollop, a couple tablespoons of my mayonnaise, put in some sriracha sauce to give it a little bit of a bite to it, a little bit of an extra bite to it. I'm just going to do a little taste test of without the sriracha on it. See if I can take off a piece here. I don't want to eat up more than one. I just want to have a taste of one. So here we go. We're going to do a little taste test without the sriracha on it. It's okay. It's got a nice texture to it. Not a lot of flavor though. It's got the chickpeas and stuff like that. So let's try it with the sriracha sauce. This is a little bite with the sriracha on it. Hang on. No, can't go wrong with mayonnaise. And can't go wrong with sriracha unless you put in too much, but that tastes much better. So the texture is fine. Flavor is a little on the light side, so it could use a little bit of extra flavor addition to it. You might want to throw in some garlic, more garlic powder or some onion powder, just to boost it up a little bit. I'm liking it with the mayo. Doesn't take a lot. That mayo and the so this could actually make a really good burger for a hamburger bun. I took out the ones I put in the oven to bake, and I have some information for you. So this is the one that went into the oven. This is one of the ones that went into the oven that I put in at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes. Was that what they said? And it's fine, but it's cooked. It just didn't have quite the texture I wanted. I wanted to have a little more of a crunchy outer. And got to tell you, the flavor of all the things, the green peas, the onions, the carrots, the garlic, it all's coming through very nicely. But what I did is I took it out. When I took it out, I said I didn't care for the texture that much. So I air fried them for about 3 minutes and put it in the air fryer just for 3 minutes. Just put them in at 390 degrees for 3 minutes. And that gave a nice, crunchier exterior, which is really nice. And if you put on, and you got all the flavors again of the green peas, the onions, all that stuff. It's all coming through very nicely, just as it is when just a little bit of air frying, 3 minutes after I took it out of the oven. So that gives you, the other option gives you more flavor, plus gives you a nice crunchy exterior, which I like. Now I'm just going to try it with the sriracha mayo. Just take a piece of that and see how that tastes. Well, that's an awful lot of flavor coming through there. So yeah, there you have it. Lentil patties. Instead of just using meat, use these for barbecues. Use these for in place of your own hamburger patties or vegan meat patties. This isn't bad. And it's very, very healthy with the green peas, the green lentils, the carrots, the onion, garlic, a few spices, and the rolled oats to hold it all together. It's got to be healthy. So that's really good. I love it. Lots of protein in there, lots of other nutrients. And you can cook them any way you like. Pan fry them in some olive oil, a little bit of olive oil. That turned out pretty good, but not as much flavor coming through after you pan fry it as what it was when I baked it for 20 minutes at 375 degrees, 25 minutes, 375, and then air fried it for 2 or 3 minutes, for 3 minutes afterwards, just to give them a little bit of a crispier outer. Well, that's my recommendation, to go with the latter, but it's up to you, whatever you like. That's it for this week's episode of The Unorthodox Vegan. As always, you can reach me at my email address up here, vrcompanions@gmail.com. And please follow me on my YouTube channel. That is www.youtube.com/@the_unorthodox_vegan. Until next time, my name is Sean Gold. Have yourself a great day. Bye for now.